Hey everyone, Bri2J back with another episode of Yay Toys, and today's review is going to be on the S.H.Figuarts Batman from the Dark Knight. I don't understand why it took S.H.Figuarts to wait forever to create their own version of Christian Bale, considering Mafex has had 2 out already and a 3rd along the way. So yeah, got to see this guy at New York Comic-Con last year, as well as New York Toy Fair earlier in the year. And it's nice to actually have him in hand. So with that being said, let's check out the Batman. And here's Batman, and I have to say, I'm really impressed by this figure. I'm also really impressed that S.H.Figuarts has been stepping up their height game. Especially for the taller characters. Batman is a pretty tall guy, and figure-wise, he's just over 6 inches tall to the top of the point. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, the figure itself, not a bad figure. It's improved since the prototypes that I saw. But there's a few gripes that I have, and I'll get into it. First off, let's start with cool stuff. The face looks a lot like Christian Bale. I think the sculpt came out really good. As for the chest, all really nicely detailed. The legs, the arms. Not sure if it's picking up, but there's a lot of detailing on like the inner thigh. There's like some mesh. Actually looks like Kevlar, so that's pretty cool. I think that's really nicely detailed on the belt. The fact that they added some gunmetal pieces, right? Because the suit wasn't all black, because if you think about that version of Batman, he was piecing these things together from Wayne Tech, and it's nice that it has a real feel to it. So yeah, this is the back of the figure. Looks pretty good. Everything about this figure looks great. Only gripes. For starters, let's talk about the shoulder pads. I like these things, but if you move the arm, kind of like weird position or whatever, and you're not moving the shoulder pad first, they're gonna pop off on you. They go back on, it's not a big deal, but it's just, you shouldn't have to do that. Gripe number 2. While I was recording earlier, and I was in the process of talking about articulation, his arm popped off. Which, it's kind of funny, considering that Batman's arm popped off. Even though it's not the Mafex one, which was built where the arms always came off. So, that's not really a big deal. You fix it, it goes back in, everything's, perfect. Final gripe. As much as it's my love-hate relationship with the cape. The love part, Bandai stepped away from plastic. Because those hard shell things suck. They look good from angles, but then they suck. So, yeah. I love the material, but the wiring inside the material, just a little too thick for me. And a few other people that I know. You can bend it, it does bend, but it's thick. I get why, because I was rewatching The Dark Knight the other night, actually, and the cape does spread out pretty good. And, it's not going to drape over him perfect, but it hangs, and it has that, that glide look. It's that, what they call it in Batman Begins, that not like I forget, put in the comment. Anyway, so because he has like the little pieces in his gloves where like he can make the fabric go from like hanging to stiff. I'll remember it after I'm done editing this video, and maybe I'll put a little ticker there at the end. But yeah, that is the detailing and stuff and the gripes that I have. Now let's talk about his articulation. So let's talk articulation. He does have quite a lot. Keep in mind, he does have more head movement because this was the costume from the second movie. After he made the joke about, you know, needing more movement in his costume for his neck to, you know, back out of the driveway, as he put it. So you do get good articulation there. As for the arms, again, this little piece here, like I said, it just popped out. There's a hinge in there, so I'll leave this off for a minute. Move that up and you get all the rotation. Alright, so just be sure of that. Put this piece back on. If it'll let me. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it goes on pretty easy. He does have an upper bicep swivel, which is nice. Double jointed elbows. And there's a little bit of articulation in the elbow there, like they've been doing lately. So you get a bit of the old and the new, and I like that. Full wrist rotation. Be careful, these gauntlet pieces are sharp. He does have diaphragm articulation. No, not a lot of ab crunch. But then again, he's wearing Kevlar, so I'm not really worried. I think that's almost movie accurate. The legs have that drop down, and you can kick back better. Kick forward better, rather. Kick back, okay. He does have upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees. He does have a decent amount of ankle pivot, and he does have toe articulation. So yeah, you do get a lot of articulation with Batman, which is great because you can get him in some really cool posing. And he comes with a lot of accessories. Like, there's a ton of hands, but I'll show you guys. So let's take a look. So this Batman actually comes with quite a lot. For starters, he comes with the sticky bomb gun. He used this a lot in the Dark Knight, and I think this looks really good. Like, they did a great job with this gun. It looks like a lot of bolts and, you know, made out of scrap, and it just looks really good. He comes with the grapple gun, and it's a lot different than the Mafex one, if I'm not mistaken. Because I'm not sure these were as, like, defined. But yeah, this looks really good. And really nicely sculpted, too. Another thing that looks really cool, you get 2 batarangs. And they differ. So, like, one side is going to be smooth, and the other side is going to be sculpted with that little line in there. So you get that nice detailing. So you get 2 of these. You get an alternate head, and that also looks a lot like Christian Bale, like he's about to, you know, why are you trying to kill me, and whatnot. So yeah, nicely sculpted, nicely painted. You get a ton of hands. So first you get a pair of the come at me bro hands, pair of trigger fingers, batarang throwing hands, believe a pair for the grapple gun, and then a pair for the sticky bomb. So yeah, you get a lot of hands, and I think that's really cool that they give you a decent amount. I mean, I know the Mafex one only came with like the come at me bros and like a pair of fists, so like it, and like one other set, but like, so it's nice that you get a ton of different display options for this Batman. Yeah, so basically when you want to swap out his head, basically what you do is unplug it. The ball peg is already going to be in the head. And then you take the other head and plug it right in. Really simple. Now, when you want to take and swap out the hands, basically unplug and plugs in. Mine is tight because I barely displayed any hands. But yeah, goes in. It's got to watch out that I don't pop off his arm again. So yeah. And the other cool thing that they have here is this piece here. Like you don't get this with the Mafex. This unplugs if you don't want it on. Takes a little bit of wiggle. Goes in like that. But then you got the grapple gun, and that just plugs into here. And there you go. I think that looks great. I like that option. I'm really happy with this figure. I'm glad I picked it up. It cost me about $65 after tax. Yeah, it's a great piece, especially if you're a fan of Batman, and I am, because I still have both my Mafex versions of this figure, and it's nice to have the S.H.Figuarts take on it. Well, that's just about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed already, please hit subscribe. You could find this video on my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and that's at Yay Toys. You could find this video on my Facebook page, Scream Yay Toys. You could also follow me on both Twitter and Instagram. That's BRI_2J, so Bri2J. And if you want to follow the channel on Instagram, it would be at Yay_Toys. And of course, save the best for last, you can find this video on InnerCityGeeks.com. So with that being said, I will catch you guys later. Peace.